Show with Pat Lopez, where we talk everything real estate. For this show, I'm going to go over some statistics and some stats and some really interesting information, like the elections. How does that affect the real estate market? The Fannie Mae monthly survey. What questions, how do buyers and sellers feel about home buying and selling? Also, we're going to look at interest rates. Where are they headed? Inventory. What does the Philadelphia inventory look like? And NAR. When customers look back at their purchase transaction, what do they value most about their agents and what they did? So let's jump into the election. How does the election affect the real estate market? Well, number one, 9 out of the last 11 election years, home sales went up. So once again, 9 out of the last 11 election home sales went up. Existing home prices went up 7 out of the last 8 elections. 7 out of the last 8 election home prices went up. Interest rates decreased 8 out of the last 11 elections. 8 out of the last 11 elections, interest rates decrease. So there's some stats, doesn't matter, Republicans, Democrats, whoever won, this is just what happens during a presidential election year. Okay, so now let's jump into the Fannie Mae monthly housing survey. Number one survey was, or one of the questions that were asked, 19% of buyers said it was a bad time to buy. 19%, bad time to buy, not good. Now, if we look back at 2018, 62% of people said it was a good time to buy. So look at that dramatic difference. 2018, 62%, great time to buy. Now, 19% said it was a good time to buy. Now, if you're looking at sellers, 66% say it is a good time to sell. So sellers are feeling really good. Also, 50%, or actually over 50%, slightly over 50% of people that were surveyed thought that housing prices and interest rates were going to go up in the next 12 months. 79% of workers felt really good about their job, didn't worry about getting laid off or fired or anything like that. So job security, pretty good. And 43% of renters state the next move they do is going to be a house they purchase. Next move is not going to be to another rental, it's going to be a house that they're going to own. 43%. So, hey, it may be a good time to market to renters. It may be 2-3 years down the road before they decide to move, but their move, they want to buy. So that may be a target where you may want to really look at the rental market and really talk to those people. Okay, next, NAR. National Association of Realtors. They did a survey and they turned around and they spoke to people who recently bought a home and asked them, what biggest value did their agent give them? Okay, the number one was 61%. 61% stated explaining the buying process, explaining the whole process was number one for them, 61%. 58% said pointing out defects in the home. You know that old saying, hey, stop me from buying a money pit, that kind of thing. So 58% talked about, hey, they pointed out some defects, that kind of thing. 46% stated negotiating better terms. Negotiating better terms. That was 46%. Also 46% turned around and said, hey, they helped out of giving me the ancillary services like home inspectors, mortgage companies, insurance companies, things like that. 45% said expanding their territory, showing them, giving them knowledge of other areas or areas that they were thinking about buying. And 33% negotiating a better sales price. Now, out of those 6 things that I mentioned, there was only one thing that talked about finding a home. Everything else wasn't. So the reason why I point that out and the reason why I'm mentioning this is because if you are a door opener, people don't find value in that. People believe that they can go on Zillow, Realtor.com and find their house. So what people are looking for is more than a door opener. So if you want to be a professional, you want to command top dollar, you want clients, be more than a door opener. Also, I'll leave you with this. 1000 Watts did a big survey, and their number one thing was, when they did their survey, what buyers wanted realtors to help them not make a mistake, basically buying that money pit, which is in line with NAR. Okay, so let's jump into the Philadelphia market. We're going to talk about inventories, days on market, things of that nature. Okay, so we're going to start off with the median sale price. And this is of the week of July 19th. July 19th, 2024. This is just a week snapshot. 1 week, 7-day snapshot. So the median sales price in Philadelphia was $275. If we go back 1 year ago, July 2023, that median sale price was $269,000. Now, if we go back pre-pandemic, we're talking about 2019. Pre-pandemic, the median sale price in Philadelphia was $265,000. So we had appreciation through the years. Now, days on market. We're looking, once again, this is the week of July 19th, 2024. 63 days was days on market, how long it took to sell a house, medium days. And you could have 500 sales, so that means 250 sold before 63 days, and 250 took longer than the 63 days. That's just the median time frame. 2023 for July, same thing, 63 days. Pre-pandemic, July 2019, 49 days. So houses were selling a little bit quicker, 49 days in 2019. Price cuts. Price cuts have been pretty consistent. I'm really surprised when I saw this number. So what, July 19th, 2024, 39% of homes had price cuts. So if it was listed, it had at least one price cut 39% of the time. Last year, same time, 40%. And if we look at 2019, 39%. So that means any home hitting the market, on average, there's a 39% chance that that house is going to have a price cut. Now, understand, real estate is local. So you could be in a really hot area and these numbers aren't quite that. Sale prices are obviously going to be higher, but we're just talking in general, Philadelphia market. Now, inventory. Inventory. As of July 19th, 2024, we had 2,476 homes on the market for sale. If we go back 1 year, we had 2,641. So we had a little bit more inventory last year. If we turn around and look at pre-pandemic, 2019, July, we are looking at 2,904. So more inventory. So inventory has been decreasing. Now, new listings, just for the 1 week, Philadelphia new listings, we had 256 new listings on the week of July 19th, and sales under contract, 199. So every year, the peak ends up being June or July, ends up being the peak buying season, the peak for sales prices generally. And then the second part of the year, prices drift back down, and it's just with the school year, people want to get into homes, before the school year starts, then the holidays come in, the fall, winter weather, that kind of thing. And that's just the normal flow, where you're talking about January goes up, hits summer, and then starts drifting back down. So that happens every year. Okay, so now let's look at rates. What is going on with interest rates? Okay, interest rates have been drifting down a little bit. We were in the 7s and as high as 7.5, 7.25, somewhere in that kind of range, depending on credit scores, because all that impacts credit scores, purchase price, loan size, down payments, all that. So there's fluctuations there, but we're talking about, on average, we were in the 7s. Now, they're going back, they're drifted down a little bit, and now we're in the high 6s when it comes to interest rates. What is that doing for the average buyer? Well, it's giving them $22,000 more of buying power. Just with that 1/4 to 0.5% lower interest rate is giving that home buyer $22,000 more purchasing power. okay? Now, what is going on? Why are rates starting to drift down? Well, Fannie Mae came out with their forecast, and their forecast is saying that the Fed is going to cut rates 2 times this year. By the end of the year, 2 cuts. That's what they're predicting. Now, there is a Fed Watch, a CME, where they predict what the Fed is going to do as far as cutting rates. So coming up on July 31st, which is the next meeting, there is a 5% chance of a rate cut. So basically none. But come September 18th is the next Fed meeting, and there is a 93% chance the Fed will cut rates. Why? Why are they predicting this? Well, one, inflation numbers are starting to come in a little bit better, and unemployment is starting to rise. So the Fed has a dual mandate: keep unemployment low and keep inflation low. Well, inflation is starting to come down a little bit more, and unemployment's starting to go up. So they're feeling that they're a little bit too restrictive, and they're going to think about cutting rates. And the predictor here is saying in September, a 93% chance that they're going to, cut rates. So we're going to see what ends up happening with those rates. Now, some predictions from different entities. Fannie Mae, they are predicting interest rates to drop down in the third and fourth quarter in between 6.8 to 6.7. That's what they're predicting. MBA, which is Mortgage Bankers Association, they're basically the same thing, 6.8 to 6.6. They're thinking in between the third and fourth quarter rates will drop. NAR, their prediction is 6.9 to 6.7. So there's some forecasts from these different places. Okay, so those are the projections from Fannie Mae, Mortgage Bankers Association, and NAR. We're going to see where the rates go, if they come to fruition or not. So hopefully you gathered some good information that you can use in your business, in your real estate business, or just general knowledge of what's going on in inventory, surveys, all that kind of thing. So I hope you enjoyed the Real Estate Show with Pat Lopez. Be sure to follow the show on Facebook and Instagram and subscribe below. I'm going to have some really good guests coming up. We're going to be talking about some of the changes with forms and everything from the real estate lawsuit. So be sure to watch and see these upcoming shows. I have some really smart people talking about some of the changes. And be sure to leave a comment. Tell me some show topics you'd like me to cover in the future. Remember, this show is everything real estate, no limits. Thanks for